What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Friday morning. TGIF Friday, everyone. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm talking a little bit more about the Carlos Correa situation, as if we haven't had enough of this already. Apparently, the New York Mets have grown frustrated. According to SNY.com, the Mets have grown frustrated with Carlos Correa and how the talks in this deal have been going down. There's still a very strong sense that Carlos Correa will in fact get a deal done with the New York Mets, but the Mets have grown to such a level of frustration that it is possible that they could break off talks with Correa and decide to go into a different direction with this whole situation. Obviously, the news broke yesterday, according to John Heyman, MLB.com, that Carlos Correa and his representatives have been speaking to other teams while in the midst of negotiating a deal with the New York Mets after the failed physical that happened that questioned the health and the status of that ankle injury that Carlos Correa suffered all the way back in 2015 during his rookie year. And, of course, the fact that him and his agent, Scott Boras, will not budge off their current contract that they agreed with the New York Mets, which was a 12-year, $315 million deal, and that they will reportedly not back off the years, they will reportedly not back off the numbers, they will reportedly not back off anything involving this deal. At this point, what does Carlos Correa want? Does Carlos Correa want to become a Met? I believe he does. Scott Boras, who we all know is a greedy human being and is going to do whatever he can to get the most money for his client, which obviously that's a good job by your agent, is you're going to go out of your way to promote, to enhance, to do anything possible to make it the best for your player out there. But at the same time, Carlos Correa is walking a very, very, very thin line and a tightrope with this Mets organization right now, and along with this deal that they're trying to work out together. Right now, Carlos Correa's best option is probably to sign with the New York Mets. You have the richest owner in baseball, you have a team that is ready-made to win, and you might be that final piece that puts this team over the top to turn this team into a World Series contender and a World Series champion. Now, I get it. I'm never going to fault a player for wanting to try to get the most money he can in any sport to try to help out his family and his loved ones. You try to make the biggest contract you can. But this is the second team that has balked at his physical that he took because of an ankle injury, because some doctors fear that it could be something that could linger in the latter part of his contract going forward. At this point, why don't you just go to the doctors, show them a current MRI of your ankle, see if there's any type of issues that could happen going forward, and then after that, make a final decision. But at the same time, if Carlos Correa wants to be a New York Met that bad, I get he wants to try to make the most money, but this is a time where you can overrule your agent and be like, you know what? Get a deal done. I want to be a New York Met. I want to play in this city. I want to be able to play next to my good friend, Francisco Lindor. I want to be a New York Met. And I think at this point, Carlos Correa, Scott Boras, and the Mets executives have got to find a way to work this out together. I just really wonder how much money is being cut off in this deal, how much shortened this deal might be, for a reason why we're having such discussions right now about this contract. But I am not surprised that the Mets are frustrated with Carlos Correa. They're disgruntled right now with Carlos Correa with this whole ordeal, and that they are honestly thinking about pulling their offer off the table and just allowing Correa to walk and go somewhere else. Now, the fact that there's still reports out there that they strongly believe the deal will get done makes me believe that Carlos Correa and the Mets executives really are working as hard as they can to get this deal done, which does not shock me at all. But the question is, how much is either side going to be willing to give to be able to put this deal together? Like I mentioned earlier in a couple of my other videos, 7 years, $255 million, $260 million. Would you be able to cut the deal somewhat in half? 6 years, $245, $250 mil. Would you want to still have the original deal but some type of opt-out clause in the middle? These are the things that these two sides have got to work out because of the fact that the New York Mets are in position right now to really be a World Series championship contender. With this Carlos Correa move, if they can pull it off, this would be the cherry on top of what has been a fantastic offseason for Steve Cohen, Bill Yepler, Buck Showalter, and this Mets organization. But right now, this is turning into a very, very ugly situation with Carlos Correa. Neither side is looking good coming out of this. Neither side is benefiting at all from this in the press, the media, whatever it is. Come to some type of resolution. They said their wheels are going in motion, that something will be resolved in the future. We've been saying that for days. Come to some type of resolution. If you don't think that either side is going to budge, cut off talks and go let Correa go somewhere else, and the Mets will make do with what they have. Either put Eduardo Escobar back in the infield or let your young players try to see what they can do. And if you can find a way to work out a deal with Correa and bring him to the Mets, that's a good deal for everybody. But this is getting ridiculous now. Work out a contract with Carlos Correa already. Because I'm not surprised the Mets are frustrated. But let's do something about it and get this deal done. So that's just my update I wanted to give you guys surrounding the Carlos Correa situation with the New York Mets. The Mets are right now reportedly frustrated with the Carlos Correa camp and this deal. But right now there are still strong indications, according to SNY.com, that a deal will still get done. But it is not out of the realm of possibility that the New York Mets will walk away and pull their offer off the table for Carlos Correa. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video or short they'll be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And let me know in the comment section if you agree with the Mets' take of how they're growing frustrated with this whole Carlos Correa situation. And if you think a deal will still get done, or if you believe that Carlos Correa and the Mets will part ways and the Mets will pull their offer off the table and Carlos Correa will have to look elsewhere again to try to find his new home for the Major League Baseball season in 2023. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. TGIF Friday, everyone. Take it easy and let's go New York Mets. As always, all you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.